seventh sense is so important. Every overstanding in and of itself is important. This book is a holistic approach. So there's no one overstanding that's more important than the other. But when it comes to our spiritual survival, our actual physical survival, as the Hopi elder was just teaching in that video that we played at the beginning of this conference cipher. He was saying that the ancients, that our ancestors who were in tune with nature, realized that for nature itself to survive, for humanity to survive and take its rightful place within nature, to be in harmony with nature, we have to wake up to our true spiritual nature. And as the seventh sense was just saying, once we wake up to our true spiritual nature, our physical nature just falls in line automatically. We don't go to the places we shouldn't go. We show up at the places we need to be. Because remember, our purpose is God's purpose as well. And God's vision for us, the spirit reality, is going along all the time. It doesn't matter if any individual is tuned in or tuned out of it. It's still happening. And what makes it so, to me, this is something that when I discovered this reality, this is when I stopped giving up inspirational living towards myself. This is when I stopped becoming guilty and stopped being guilty. Because I realized that it's like a river, right? It's like a river that's going on. And we're swimming along and we're getting to our destination, which is downriver somewhere. And all of a sudden we drift over to the side of the shore and we forget our destination. We climb up on the shore and we like forget where the river is, even though it's right there. That river is God's will, plan, and purpose for our lives, and it's moving. And we jump out of that river and we start doing all kinds of other things, and we're not getting to our destination. And we may sometimes forget at times that river is there, but that river is always there. God's vision is always there, flowing. And all we have to do to get in alignment with God's self, with God's will, plan, and purpose for our life, is just get back into the river with God. We just jump back in the river and swim downstream to our destination. And we are the river itself. I don't know about you all, but if you ever gone swimming in a wild river somewhere and you swim with it downstream, you realize that you are the river itself. There's so much water in our body. The river is not only pushing us, it's pulling us forward. It's us where we're pushing and pulling ourselves forward to our destination downriver. It's the greatest knowing that at any moment when you're feeling like, oh man, I'm not living my purpose, or I'm out of alignment with God, and I'm not in my true self right now. Oh man, I fell. I hurt myself. What do I do? I've lost my vision. I've lost my purpose. God, what do I do? God tells us, just jump back in the river, my child. Just jump right back in the river. I'll carry you where you need to be. But you got to be alert. You got to be focused. We got to pay attention to what's ahead of us in the river. That's our responsibility. God's already taken care of the ultimate responsibility of using the river to take us to our destination. It's our responsibility to be consciously aware, to be a conscious participant in what God's already doing in our lives. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple decision. Oh man, I just had 2 really bad months, God. What do I do? Well, jump back in the river and get moving. It's that easy. It is that easy. And trust and believe, it took a while for me to realize how easy it actually is. You might get back in for another month and then be feeling so good about yourself. We start feeling so good about ourselves that we're like, you know what? I don't need to go to that destination. Oh, look, there's a 7-Eleven at the side of the river. I need to go get whatever is in the freezer section at 7-Eleven. I need to drink all that sugar drink. I need to do all this stuff. I need to get distracted by 7-Eleven now. Let me go get distracted. And then realize, wait a minute. Oh, no, I have my purpose to go to. Let me jump back in the river again. But don't plague yourself, right? We need to show up at the destination when God has us designed to show up at the destination. As Minister Sun One was saying earlier, don't use this as like, well, this is just a dream world. I can do whatever I want. I'll just wake up in the other world. You want to wake up after this feeling unfulfilled, feeling tired, feeling like, man, I wasted my life. I felt my purpose, but I didn't live it. Can you imagine? I mean, really put yourself in that situation right now. Put ourselves in that situation right now. We leave this earth. We leave this body. We wake up in the kingdom of God. And we realize that we haven't lived our purpose, that we wasted a life. The most precious gift the universe can give to us, the gift of life. The whole time we're living outside of this earth, we're like, man, I can't wait to go back to sleep and go to earth so I can learn that lesson again. And for some people on earth, they're like, I can't wait to die and get back into my universal self and just chill with God. No, there's a will, plan, and purpose that God has for each of our lives. Don't waste this life. We can't waste this life. Especially hip hop. We have no time to waste. And I'll tell you this. When I was making these changes in my life, I went through an incredible amount of suffering that I created for myself. And my environment started vibrating at a different frequency. And I lost a lot of things, but they weren't losses because I was gaining something. And once my perspective shifted and I realized that I was gaining my true self, that I was gaining God's will, plan, and purpose for my life, I realized that I hadn't lost anything at all. I had actually gained the sight. I gained an awareness. I woke up in the kingdom of hip hop, the kingdom of heaven, as an immortal, eternal being. It's all I know. It's all I am. It's all I can be and see. And I'll tell you this, and it sounds crazy to say because most people won't understand this, but I can't wait to die. I'm in no hurry. I will live a full life realizing and actualizing my purpose. But to leave the aches and pains and tragedies and suffering of this world, I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Like I said, I'm in no hurry to go, but I can't wait to die. It's such a wonderful, beautiful feeling to experience. There's no fear of death here. There's no reason to fear that. That's created by Hollywood. The fear of death is created by Hollywood to sell movie tickets and to control people's perception of reality, making everybody afraid of death. No, I'm not foolish. I'm not suggesting be stupid and go out and just toy with your life and play with your life. Not at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite. When we no longer fear death, we come to an appreciation and love and gratitude for this life and for our time here. And we realize we have no time to waste. We only get this one life, and that's it. Yes, there's reincarnation. Yes, I come back. Word. And maybe I'm so passionate about this because I wasted a life in the past. And I came into this life knowing I cannot waste this life and I will not waste another life ever again. It's just like the intelligence of our day. Don't waste a day. Don't let a day go by where you don't add to your purpose. Don't waste our breath. Don't waste your time dealing with other people's immaturity and problems. Yeah, we are the light of our world, and God has called us to bring relief to other people's suffering as ministers. But we can't become so involved in the suffering of the world that we forget and we don't even live our own purpose in life. When we become in harmony, when we jump in that river, we see other beings in that river too. Our friends and family may join us in that river. And I'll close on this with my little piece here. There's a certain level of detachment that comes with the spiritual life. And when I realized this a few years back, it was a teacher that actually noticed something that was about to happen in my life. He just had a sense about it. And he said, Zin, you need to make sure you study how Krishna taught Arjuna what detachment really is. And of course, there's the Buddha. He reminded me the Buddha has his form of detachment from the material world, no doubt. But really focus on what Krishna is telling to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita about what it means to be detached. And I've been, my life, I've studied Zen and meditation and detaching myself from the physical world. And as I went back and reread and studied what Arjuna was saying, what Krishna was saying to Arjuna, so brilliant. The words of Krishna are so brilliant. And this is exactly what we are talking about right here in the seventh sense. He told Arjuna to live detached from the material world and the happenings of the material world, to let go of the results of your action, Arjuna. Do every action, perform every action in service to God. Because remember, we just read it. Our purpose is God's purpose too. So when we perform action, we perform it in service to God, to the great event, to all of creation, the universe, each other, the wholeness, the oneness. We wake up, we say, God, I'm going to live this day for you. Oh yeah, it's a great day when we live in service to God, because God is looking out for us. And way in the future, well, a couple months from now, when we read Our God, the Great Event, we'll look back on the seventh sense and understand why the study of it is so important right now for our understanding of Our God, the Great Event in a couple months. Let us be in service to life itself. What a holy, precious, and sacred time it is to be alive, hip-hop. And for us to believe in ourselves and achieve those things that God wants us to achieve, which is greatness, which is wholeness, which is an inspiration to the rest of the world.